Hi everyone, and welcome to another coloring video for the 30-day coloring challenge. The 30-day coloring challenge is something that Kathy over at the Daily Marker started, and I think this is the 9th time that she is hosting it. It is a challenge to color every day for 30 days. And I decided to kind of record all my colorings and do real-time coloring videos out of all of them. To be able to keep up with this, I kind of chose a sort of a theme for this time around, and that was stamps from my favorite things. So all the stamps in my coloring video series here is from my favorite things. And today I am coloring a horse from the stamp set The Whole Herd. If you're wondering on which pens I'm using or what supplies I'm using, there are links in the description down below, and down below you also find this little link to my blog post, but also to a playlist where I have all the 30-day challenges. You can also find the playlist up in the right corner and at the end of the video. So thank you so much for being here with me. Let's jump into the coloring. So I'm going to make a silver horse. My inspiration today was actually my kind of white grayish unicorn, and there were someone in the comment section that called it a silver unicorn, and I thought, wait, I want to do a silver horse. However, this gray horse is going to be a little bit darker in the gray than the unicorn was. But I'm starting off with some black accents for him. So I'm doing the tail, the mane, the hoofs, and his little nose. And I'm using my end grays and the 100 black. Now you can use whatever black, 100 and 110, they're very similar. If you color them on paper, you will see a difference, but they're very, very similar, and you really only need one of them. Which one is totally up to you. I kind of take the one that my hand reaches. They are lying in the same cubby in my Copic cubbies that I have on my craft table. And the end grays are the grays that I've been playing around with for this whole challenge, so I thought I'd continue working with those. And for my black today, I use N10, N8 and N6. Usually when I work with black, I do dual layers, but the mane, the hoofs and the tail are such small parts, so I really didn't feel I needed 2 layers. So I just didn't on his snout either, or nose, or I don't know. Do the horse in Swedish, the horse nose is called mule, which is a whole other different than a proper nose. Right now I can't recall if there's a word for that in English. I don't know. I'm gonna call it nose because it sounds cute. I kind of didn't add shading to him more than thinking about when it comes to light. When thinking about the light, sorry, sometimes words don't get all the way up. Anyhow, the light source I'm having today is from the left side, and I'm doing that because he's facing the left side, and I think I talk about it in yesterday's video also. When you look at models and how models pose, they usually look towards the light to get as much light into the face as possible to kind of show themselves as open. It makes them happy. You feel like they are kind of showing themselves and not hiding anything by you having their light just onto their face. So I'm doing that with my characters, giving them the light in their face instead of from the other direction, to make it look like they're not hiding anything maybe, but kind of your brain will kind of think that it is more trustworthy horse. I don't know. That sounded strange, sorry. I don't know really how to explain it, but that's kind of sort of my explanation of it. So when it came to the black, I actually didn't really had that big of a thought when I did the shading, except for on his nose. The rest of him, the mane and the tail, well, the hoofs have a little bit of shading towards left, but the tail and the hair, the mane, I actually didn't think about the shading that much. I just wanted the black or the darkest to be closest to the horse, and then the lighter be a little bit away from the horse, except for the tail, where I wanted the light to be somewhere where it bent a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of the thoughts behind those. For the grey, I chose to go with the N6, N4, N2. I think that was the lightest. No, N0 was probably the lightest. To go for it, to do kind of a medium grey. And there I'm concentrating a little bit more on the shading. But as you see, I give him a little bit of a lighter line on the back of his legs, underneath his belly, on the back of his bum, on his neck. And that line, usually called rim light or reflective light, they are pretty much different things, but you can, in this kind of case, you can kind of use them interchangeable. What I do there is you actually get things to look a little bit rounder when you have that kind of light. Basically, when you have a light source, any kind of light source, there will also, the light will kind of be reflected from the material that the light hits and kind of reflect back onto the Horsey in this case. And you can use that both to get a little bit of a rounder effect, but also as you can see on his face, I have that line, and that actually helps to divide between his neck and his face. And the darker tones you use, the better it is to use the rim light to basically divide between different parts of the body. If you have been watching the whole series, you might have heard this a couple of times, but I do believe the repetition is the way you learn. So I'm probably gonna repeat myself a whole bunch, but you're gonna see a different image every time. However, I really wanted him to have a little bit of a texture, and if you look at like silver horses, they have spots on them, very many of them, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna use that. I want to have a spotty horse, just simple little spots. So the thought about the spots, I added the darkest tone I was using, the N6. I did some spots with the N6 where I've colored with the N6, and then I let them migrate a little bit over to the N4 also, and the same with the N4 and over just between all of them, so they kind of overlapped a little bit and was a little bit more visible. And for the last part, I used some black gel pen for his eyes and his nostrils, and a little bit of a white gel pen to just give him a couple of details where basically the light could shine, so it looks like he has kind of a shiny fur. And yeah, that was the whole coloring for today. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please thumbs it up. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions, just comment down below, where you also find all the details and stuffs. And if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button. I want to say thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!